up for you 7 fabulous sessions of 5 minutes that will help you awaken, align, to shine your wonderful light. So first up, we have Kimberly.
Hi there, everyone. Kimberly Marsh, astrologer, life and business coach, coming in from St. Augustine, Florida. And what we're actually experiencing already today, and today being, I believe, Friday the 29th-ish, is the building tension to next Friday's eclipse. We're having a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. And today we're actually getting a little taste of what that eclipse energy is all about. We have a very intense T-square between the sun, moon, and Mars today. Tensions have been building. This eclipse that we're going to have is going to allow for some release. But in order for that release to happen, the tensions actually have to reach their max capacity to contain that pressure. And then that is when we get the release that we're all sort of waiting for. Unfortunately, we have Mars, our action planet, and now Mercury. Just today, Mercury entered into Cancer, and Mercury is our communicator. So we have our action and communicator in very watery, emotional signs. We have the Sun in and Venus retrograde in Gemini in a very logical sign. So what's happening is a disconnect with thoughts and emotions. And that can create large amounts of anxiety because it's, do I listen to my head? Do I listen to my heart? What's my gut telling me? Everything's just sort of crazy right now in the world. And we can see that tensions are mounting. And really what we can focus on is for a peaceful, praying for a peaceful release of that tension. I actually wrote a little poem the other day with all this watery, Mercury and Mars and watery signs. I got a little poetic. So if you want to close your eyes for just a moment as I read these words. Soft rain, gentle tears, release. Exhaustion, panic, tension, release. Uncertainty, fear, anger, release. Agitation, restriction, loneliness, release. Blaming, judging, shaming, release. Soft rain, gentle tears, surrender. And as I leave you with those words, I'm going to turn us over to Carrie Berkey.
Hello, Carrie Berkey here. So today we're going to do an exercise working with angels. So it's from my Free Spirit Guidebook. And this is going to be an exercise to help ask angels to relieve anxiety and worry that you might be feeling. And another thing I want to say that if you have an uncomfortable feeling with angels or it's not something you're used to working with, you can picture maybe ancestors, you can picture light beings, you can even picture maybe an animal guide, whatever just feels good for you, even if you like saying God, universe. And that's just going to be a visualization we do. So I want you just to sit up tall and you're going to get comfortable. There's going to be a little sound in the background. Okay, so with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine you sitting exactly where you are. And I want you to imagine angels coming in and surrounding you. Feeling their presence. I want you to imagine the angels putting their hands on top and the back of your head, just placing their hands on your head. Letting you know that it's not your job to worry. And they're going to absorb your anxiety and your worry right out of your head, into their hands, into their bodies. Just feel worry and anxiety flowing from your mind, from your thoughts, to the angels. And then imagine the angels moving their hands to being behind your heart on your back. They're placing their hands there. A lot of times when you feel worry or anxiousness, you feel it around your heart area. Maybe take a big deep inhale, and as you exhale, just imagine the angels drawing worry and anxiety out of you. Again, maybe inhale deeply and exhale again, feeling with that exhale, the anxiety and worry is flowing out of you into their hands. They're taking it on. And then imagine their hands moving down to about your middle back. A lot of times we feel in our gut area worry and anxiousness. So imagine their hands kind of in the low middle back. Again, if it feels good to inhale and exhale, do that. And the worry, tension, anxiety you're feeling there is flowing out of your body into their hands. And I want you to imagine the angels just gathering around you and filling you with light. So where you were feeling tension and darkness, imagine light flowing in. Feeling relaxation just start to wave over your whole body. Reminding you that as you give your worries to the angels, it allows you to open up, be in the present moment, and maybe see or feel the next right step to take. So take some deep breaths here. Again, imagining the angels around you, feeling this white light within you. Imagine white light around you. Feel their protection. Know that anytime you're overwhelmed with worry and anxiety, you can call in your angels. So take a nice deep inhale and just hold it as long as you comfortably can, maybe about 10 seconds. And when you're ready, just exhale it out. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. And if you could hear the angel sounds in the background, that is from the app called the Insight Timer. If you like, you can schedule maybe 5 minutes on there and you can choose angels as the background when you're feeling a lot of anxiety. I hope you enjoy. Thank you. And next up, we have Stacy.
Hey everybody, Stacy Westbrook of the Weed Shaman Collaborative coming in from North County, San Diego. And I feel like the topic of anxiety is all about CBD's time to shine. So we know of about 113 known cannabinoids in our plant that we call cannabis, whether it's hemp or actual marijuana. And 3 types of cannabinoids. Educated myself on this the other day. Endogenous, which naturally occur within the body, phytochemicals, which is what we get from our plants, and synthetic and lab created, which we're not as excited about yet. So we'll see what happens. Just a heads up, in 2018, CBD was approved by the FDA for of course, a drug that they made called Epidiolex, but it's for seizure medication. So that has been approved for a couple of years, and then we just had the hemp farm bill passed as well. So this is great. Hemp can be usually, I think there's a couple of states that are still holding out, but almost all 50 of our states are hemp approved. And so I'm also giving you guys just a little tiny education here that this is a CBD product that I like very well, called Kamala's Nectar, and she makes all kinds of different flavors for CBD, and I believe that they're, good for the body. There's not too many crazy ingredients that go on in there, but they look pretty much like this. It's just like a little gummy that you would take a couple of times a day, ideally for this. So in 2019, the Department of Psychiatry from the University of Colorado pulled 103 people. I guess 72 people made that into their subject matter there, and they did an anxiety and sleep study. And within the first month, 79% of those participants definitely saw a downtick in their anxiety and an increase in their ability to fall asleep. And during the course of the study, that stayed the same. People were, into it, and they definitely found benefit for it. So let's see, I just wanted to also mention that cannabis is still on the Schedule 1 DEA drug list with heroin, and it's above cocaine and meth and oxycodone. So if you feel like there's anything that you want to get involved with here about like getting that schedule, off of schedule one so everyone can experiment with CBD, that would be super, super great. So in terms of CBD, there are actual smokables that don't have any THC or those very, very low levels of THC. And we like smokables because they're very easy to experiment with because you have a finite period of time and it's a small window where you will feel the effects. For a lot of people, that's not the case. And even for people who are considered stoners, right? The people who just want that THC hit, they want their head to close down, you are missing an opportunity here to play and experiment with how CBD can just affect you on the daily. And seriously, if you take it daily, in addition to any THC, you're just going to feel the effects of the CBD and THC even more so. So like it's called the entourage effect. And when most of the cannabis that you ingest has all of those cannabinoids in it, everything sort of works to help every other thing in it, those cannabinoids work to their optimum. So just remember that it's always an experiment when you're trying something new, whether it's a tincture that goes under your tongue or an edible. And just remember these, right? This is like to stay safe. This is where I come from. I'm a safety girl. So try picking something like a hemp-based something or other and look at what they tell you on the back of the packaging on how to dose. But here's how you can dose the safest. Same time of day, every day. A similar mindset. So we're talking about consciously consuming even something that doesn't mess with your brain. It's just a great idea to sit down and say, like, I'm taking this now because fill in the blank, right? Have the same eating schedule while you're learning to see how this works for you. And then try and stay in the same environment as well each time that you take it. And you will have to, it requires you to just take a minute to figure out how you feel, like after an hour, after 2 hours. And then because you're your own scientist, you will decide it feels like maybe it's too much for me. I feel like a little bit too mellow. And then you would take down that dose, and vice versa if it's the opposite, where you're like, I'm not really feeling anything. Try a little bit higher of a dose, because just pay attention to the back of that bottle and make sure that that THC is below that 0.3 that we want, so that doesn't really affect most of us at all in your head, because you don't really want to go there when you're dealing with anxiety. This is all about kind of a salve, anti-inflammatory, calming. And if you guys ever have questions, reach out to us. And next up, y'all, is Miss Paula Shaw. Thank you so much.
I'm Paula Shaw. I'm a life transition coach and a talk show host, and also the author of this book, Grief, When Will This Pain Ever End? One of the things I have been aware of over the years of working with grieving people is that anxiety is very often one of the ways that grief manifests itself, because when loss has taken place, it's like, oh God, what happens now? What's going to happen? Or if you lose a person that you depend on, or that's a big part of your life, or a job, or your home, or, we've all dealt with so much loss during this COVID crisis. So anxiety is a very, very natural thing for people to be experiencing. So, there are the everyday things that we can be cautious about, like not consuming too much caffeine. That'll really amp up your anxiety. Eating a good balanced diet, getting exercise so you can burn off some of that excess energy that the anxiety will create. Yoga, meditation, excellent. But one of the things I really love, and that I often do with my clients when they're feeling anxious, are breathing techniques, because breath shifts energy, right? That's why we do breathing techniques when we're doing yoga and some of those kinds of practices. So one of my favorite breaths for anxiety is called square breathing. And it's very helpful because, remember, when you have like a full-on panic attack, part of the reason you're having it is because of a shortage of oxygen to the brain, and because you're focusing on this thing that you're very anxious about. Square breathing not only takes in oxygen, but it requires you to count. So it helps you focus on something else. So this is how it looks. You just simply breathe in to the count of 4 or 6 if you're a deep breather. So it's 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, release, 2, 3, 4, hold out, 2, 3, 4. So do it with me. Breathe in through the nose, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, 2, 3, 4. Release, 2, 3, 4. Hold out, 2, 3, 4. And like I say, if you're somebody who takes deeper breaths, you can count to 6. Whatever's comfortable for you. You don't want this to be a strain. You want to be able to ease into it. And just focusing on that count and taking in oxygen can be very healing. And that breath and several other techniques for anxiety are on my Paula Shaw Counseling YouTube channel. So there are videos that can guide you if you would like to access any of those breaths. But that's square breathing. It's one of my favorites. And now, next up, I would like to introduce Amanda.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Johnson, emotional freedom practitioner. And today we're going to dive right into anxiety. So we're going to bring to the table whatever it is that you're feeling anxious about. And I know that all of us can locate something. So I just want you to place your hands on your heart for a second. Close your eyes with me. And find that place in your body where you're holding your tension at. So for myself, I feel it like a gut punch. It's in my tummy. But for you, it might be your chest. It could be your throat. So just locate wherever it is in your body that when you think about your stress and what makes you anxious, where that affects your body. Now that you have it located, you can open your eyes and we're going to do 2 rounds of quick tapping, short and sweet. And we're going to start with the karate chop point, tapping right here on the fleshy side of your hand. You're going to repeat after me, but please use your own lingo, your own words. Here we go. Even though I feel this anxiety, I choose to love and accept myself right where I am. And you're going to repeat after me again, even though this feels so overwhelming. And just think about whatever it is in your life that feels overwhelming right now. I choose to love and accept myself. Even though I feel anxious. Even though I can feel it in my body. I love and accept myself right where I am. Good. And now we're going to just take it through the points. So you're going to follow after me. And we're just going to begin tapping the eyebrow point. Tuning into that place that you located within your body that felt your anxiety. All of this anxiety. Just say it out loud. Put it on the table. All this anxiety. Moving to the side of your eye, right here on the bone. All of this constriction in my body. Underneath the eye, I just feel so worried. Moving underneath the nose. I'm having a hard time calming down. Underneath the mouth. How do I handle all of this? I don't even know how to do it all. Collarbone point. I love this point. Just stop and take a deep breath here, breathing into your body. Letting go, just allowing yourself in this moment to just release, to just let go of whatever it is that's got its hold on you. Moving underneath the arm, just a little bit under your underarm here with your fingers. What if the worst thing happens though? And sometimes our minds imagine the worst possible outcome. Moving to the top of the head. I'm just so anxious, but I would like to let it go. And now we're going to keep moving through one more tapping round. Eyebrow point. Letting myself, allowing myself to let go. Side of the eye. Allowing my body to relax. Trusting that it's all going to work out. I don't always get to know the hows or the whens, but just allowing myself to trust. Moving underneath the eye. Relaxing, releasing. Say this out loud. I now rejuvenate, restore, let go. Moving underneath the nose. I am safe. That is such a powerful affirmation. It's short, but it encompasses so much because when we're anxious, we don't feel safe. Just allowing yourself to feel safe. Moving underneath the mouth. Knowing that I'm going to know all the tools. Knowing that all of the answers are going to show up. Allowing my breathing to calm down and normalize. Collarbone point. Feeling into your body here. You can close your eyes if they're not closed. You can tap with one hand and put your other hand on your tummy. I just want you to see yourself in front of you, in your mind's eye. See yourself in front of you, dealing with all the things that you're dealing with, carrying the heavy load that you may be carrying, or even something that you think back to that causes you anxiety. And as you see yourself there, imagine saying to yourself, you're doing a really great job. You're doing a good job. Just being there for yourself. Moving underneath the arm. I release this anxiety. I allow myself to let go and feel less overwhelmed. Top of the head and last point, bringing in all the guidance that I need. Trusting that all of the treasures that are meant just for me in my life are going to show up on time, right when I need them. Just trusting the process, trusting yourself, trusting your body. And now just palms up wherever you are, knowing you're bringing in that gorgeous guidance that is going to lead you exactly into feeling better. And you've just started that yourself. Good job. And that is it. That is our tapping for today on anxiety. I hope it helps. You're welcome to go back and watch that again if you didn't feel yourself completely shift. you can still do that and just go back and listen to that and everybody else on here sharing their amazing work. Next up, we have beautiful Susan.
Hello, anxiety. Anxiety is an energy that's like a compass setting that helps direct us through our emotional inner landscape. So it's not always something that has to get fixed. There's nothing wrong with us. We can ask, what is this anxiety trying to show me? For when we have an outer challenge, that is showing us what our inner is trying to master. So if you look at the outer challenge and flip it to the opposite side of what would I be trying to master? So if you look at an anxiety and you flip it, the flip side of that is our personal power turning on, our personal power growing. So as your personal power is growing, it can hit up against something like a blocked emotion or a belief that your inner compass, this anxiety energy, is trying to point you to say, bring your attention here. There's something here you need to look at that we need to shift. So looking at anxiety from this perspective, it's actually something that can serve us. And so then if you have anxiety, don't get mad at it or fear it. Find it in your body and squeeze it, breathe into it so you can metabolize it and integrate it. So today I'm going to use an Alea Dao protocol to address this. And we're going to go within because that's where the anxiety is. So if you would, close your eyes and take a deep breath. And let a situation that gives you anxiety come to your awareness. A situation or a person. And ask, what is this anxiety trying to tell me? For each of us has a core need for connection, love, approval, respect, safety, trust, and support. So what need is not being addressed that this person, the situation, this anxiety is trying to show you? And follow your emotions, not a line of reasoning, for your emotions will lead you to the deepest peace that is ready to shift. Ask yourself, what are you determined to master by creating and engaging in this situation? Are you trying to master connection or love, approval, respect, safety, trust, or support? And just relax into a knowing of what you are trying to master. And now we ask your higher self to locate all energies and consciousness of the anxiety. The most important aspect of this activation is that it is your higher self that is creating and activating the vibrations. You are only using your mind to make the request. Invite your higher self to work with your energetic fields and guides to energetically locate all the vibrations, energy, behaviors, thought forms, and templates that hold the vibration of anxiety. Ask your higher self to use all of the energy of anxiety and flip it to the vibration that your soul is determined and committed to attain and master. Ask your higher self to activate the vibration of the solution in your divine line. Take full responsibility for holding this vibration in your divine line, which is that channel of your light and your spirit that flows through the center of your being, through your chakra system. You are mastering an inner vibration, no longer asking the outer world to challenge you, practicing what you intend to master instead of being challenged by the opposite experience in the outer. Invite your higher self to create and activate the templates, emotions, and thought forms holding the consciousness of the solution. Let this challenge of anxiety be your greatest strength as it transforms into the vibration of the solution. Invite your higher self to fully activate and embody the vibration of the solution in your divine line. Ask your higher self to reflect these vibrations to you here in this physical realm. And lastly, ask that all reference points and ways in which you perceive anxiety be updated. Take a deep breath and gently open your eyes and feel the solution activated within you. I am Susan Coffey with Ancestral Healing Arts. If you need any help with transforming energy, my contact info is at the end of this recording. So cheers to high vibrations. And next we have deep.
Namaste, everyone. Welcome today. So today we're talking about anxiety. okay, since we have a physical body, then we go through certain rules of nature. There's the highs, there's the lows, the ups and downs, and it's a part of living, which makes us alive. And the experiences that we do experiences teaches us. So time and time again, when we don't think of much when we are on the highs. It's like we expect it, we work towards it, and we know there's a certain result coming. So that experience comes from the void of any anxiety. But then when the time turns around and when we experience the lows, then all the blockages within the chakras begins to come up, thus raising anxiety. So there might be so many different kinds of anxiety. They say anxiety is an inner state of turmoil. So the blockages within the chakras, be it a loss, loss of friend, life, family, so many, I mean, grief, any blockages located within the chakras could arise at any moment to give you some sort of anxiety. So how do we work through this anxiety? And like in the West, it's like there's medication for everything. So if somebody is in a state of anxiety, depression, everything, you have medication for that. But it's only a cover up and not a solution. So in order to experience this and remember to work through it, one has to go within and derive wisdom through it. So let's do a short meditation, and through the meditation, we'll try to work through some of these as well. So please begin to focus on your breath, close your eyes, and just find yourself in the moment. So just breathe in, observe the moment of silence between the breath, and then as you exhale, let go and listen. So now, as you begin to breathe in, focus on anything that you might be feeling anxious about. Just let it arise, and without reacting to it, be the observer and experience the source of the anxiety. Experience the anxiety from a loss of a job, a family, sickness. Just anything that comes up, just observe. Now dwell within the state that you are finding yourself. If there's any inner turmoil, just observe what's happening to the body, your mind, your peace, place of being. We always like to say fear is the lack of understanding of the unknown. Through the experience, begin to find the unknown. Experience the fullness of the unknown. As you go within the source of the feeling that you're feeling, begin to ask why, when, hows, whys. Experience this experience up to the fullest. Begin to learn what this experience is teaching you. And as you begin to replace the uncertainty, the fear with knowledge, begin to let go of the state, the experiences that troubles you. And as you breathe in, empower yourself with this knowledge. And as you slowly breathe out, begin to exhale and let go of any other things that you might still be holding on to. And as you find yourself again in the moment, using your breath, take one long, deep breath. Find yourself in the moment. And as we said last week, in the moment, being present is where happiness lies. So now you can slowly begin to open up your eyes. And hopefully with experiencing the source of the conditions, the experiences that we need to go through, we will always be anxious free. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you for being with us. We have been holistic. We hope you are happy. And for any more information on our wonderful practitioners here, please go to our website at holistichappyhour.org.